Good morning, everybody. Uh, Welcome to this session, Name it, Transfer, and Combine Your Data with Power Query. My name is Jesus Hill. I'm an author, I'm an MVP, Most Valuable Professional. This is an award for Microsoft. I'm an architect, DBA, trainer, and I had more than 10 years as technical instructor. But in this day, I have the pleasure to share with us this session that talking about all the ETL and the Power Query with Power BI. Well, what is the themes about in this session? We will know about what is Power Query, in where is used Power Query, why do people love Power Query, a little bit the ETL concept, and obviously build our first ETL with Power Query, right? So the first question is, what is Power Query? Power Query in the Microsoft data connectivity and data preparation technology enable to the business users to seamlessly access data stored in hundreds of data sources and reshape to fit it their needed. It's easy to use, have a great engage, and in my point of view, the better is we don't need it have experience in code. Power Query supported data sources included a wide range of file types, databases, Microsoft Azure services, and many other third-party online services. And Power Query also provided a custom connector SDK. What is the reason to have the SDK? If you needed create your own data connector, you can create with this SDK and simply plug them into the Power Query easily. Okay, so okay, as mentioned in a moment, we have several data sources to can get different elements. Okay, we have first the common data sources. Okay, and the common data sources as Excel, Power BI data sets, Power BI data flows, SQL Server, analysis services, text, CSV, web, OData, and blank query. And in the case, if you don't have the, or you don't see the common data sources, okay, you only need to click here in the icon and show a window with the all data sources that you can get the info. Okay, is jumping. Okay, and as you see, you can get data about the file, databases, Power Platform, Azure, online services, and other. Okay. What is the difference? The difference is because in the files, you can get data from Excel, text, XML, JSON, and a full folder, a PDF, or directly from SharePoint folder. In the databases, not only is for the Microsoft platform, okay? You can get data from SQL Server, Access, Analysis Services, Oracle, example, right? Oracle, IBM, Informix, Nitisa, MySQL, Postgres, Sybase, Teradata, etc. Okay, and you can get info directly from SAP HANA, Business Warehouse, Message Server, Amazon Redshift, Impala, Google BigQuery, Vertica, Sbase, AtScale, BI Connector, and other, right? And in the Power Platform is a new elements. Remember, the Power BI belong to Power Platform. So in this case, you can get info from Power Flow, or what now Power Automate, okay, and Power App. So you can work with these data sets, Power BI data sets, the Data Flow Power BI, the Common Data Services, obviously, and Power Platform Data Flow, okay? And in the Azure, you can have any connectors in the Azure SQL database, Azure SQL Data Warehouse, Azure Analysis Services. In the Azure SQL Data Warehouse, remember the last November changed the brand, okay? Have a rebranded, okay? And in this case, SQL Data Warehouse change the name to Azure Synapse, okay? Azure Synapse Analytics. But in Synapse Analytics, you can create two options, and Synapse for the databases, NoSQL, and SQL Data Warehouse for databases SQL, okay? So it's the difference, and is the reason that you can have this name yet, okay? And in the online services, with me, please, okay? You have the SharePoint, Exchange Online, Dynamics 365, Dynamics Snap, okay? And everything, okay? And in the other, it's very important because sometimes we can get the info directly to the source, okay? So when this happened, okay, we needed move it to the workarounds, okay? And in this case, we needed move it, in this case, example for Spark or ODBC, ODB, etc. Okay? Right. Okay, return to the presentation, okay? And what is used Power BI? Sorry, Power Query. Power Query was born on 6 July 2013. Previously known as codename Data Explorer. I don't know if you remember the Data Explorer, but Data Explorer was the first add-in for Excel, and then later incorporated as a full feature of Excel and Power BI. In fact, do you remember the famous Power BI on Excel? Yeah. The first Power BI was in Excel, and the components were Power Query, Power Pivot, Power Map, and Power View. All these add-ins were integrated on Excel 2013, and all under the same file XLC. These add-ins evolved and became powerful tool, or, and the case may be, part of the visualization of Power BI. Example, Power Map. In our days, you can choose where you'll use Power Query because it's natively integrated in several Microsoft products as Microsoft Power BI, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft SQL Server Data Tools for Visual Studio, and Microsoft Common Data Services for apps. The next question is, why do people love Power Query? And the answer is very easy. From my viewpoint, is because Power Query is a great tool. Let me explain. It has a simple interface based on ribbons with buttons. Any user can learn how to upload data because the user interface was designed to understand the process through simple clicks. Power Query has a powerful language named M to code and perform complex data manipulations. You can get info from multiple sources, and most important, you can work with both structured and unstructured data. Okay, so let me show. We talk about the ribbons, right? This is the first ribbon, home. Okay, in the home, we can, or we have this part of data. Okay, we can get data directly, data from Excel, data sets, SQL Server, create data directly, or you can get the recent sources. Okay, right? You can get. The next is the queries. The next queries is when you have the info, you can move it to the transfer data and etc. Okay, and if you have data, you can create a new visual, a new text box, visuals, etc. Right? Or you can create calculations, measure, etc. Right? And then we have this ribbon, the insert, is similar in the visual, new visual and more visual, but you have visuals for AI, okay? Artificial intelligence. You have Q&A, key influencers, the completion tree, etc. And Microsoft added the Power Platform to can create or add a Power App into the Power BI. Okay, and the elements you have a text box, button, shapes, image. Okay, and the modeling is very easy. It's very easy because the first is you can create manage relationship, measures, a new measure, quick measure, new table, new column, sorry, new table, right? And you can make a refresh to change detections, parameter for the what if, okay, and security to create and manage a role and view as, okay. And this is a Q&A, okay. The Q&A is for questions, okay. Setup, language, linguistic, etc. Okay. And the last is view, okay. And in the view, you can apply the themes, okay, page view, mobile layout, grid lines, filters, bookmark selections, performance analyzers, and sync analyzer, okay? And it's really, really easy to use, okay? Well, moving to the next concept, the ETL, okay? What's mean ETL? ETL is an acronym that means extract, transport, and load. The ETL process became a famous concept early in the 70s. Okay, this is the basic concept to upload data to our data model. The ETL process are mostly used on data warehouse, data marts, ODS, operational data stores, or in our case, uploading data to Power BI. With Power Query, we will be building the ETL process to copy data from one or more sources into Power BI as described in the step below. Extractions, we copy, extractions, we copy or extracting data from sources, homogeneous or heterogeneous. Transformation, we'll process the data and applying, for example, data cleansing, data types conversion, business rules, etc. And finally, transforming the data in a format that can be understood by Power BI. The load will be the process responsible for inserting the data into our Power BI data model. Okay? So, we needed building the ETL with Power Query, right? All the time when we started to create a solution in Power Query, we are building an ETL. With Power Query, we can access data stored in several data sources, and it offers the best no-code user experience. You can access file types such as CSV, Excel, databases, third-party, online services, Microsoft Azure, SQL Server, on-premises, Microsoft Azure, or whatever. Power Query also provided the possibility of building your own connector using the Data Connector SDK. All the tool to do is public and stored in a GitHub repo. All your ETLs, when you are using Power BI desktop, all your ETLs functionality will be provided via the Power Query editor. To launch it, click on Edit Queries from the Home tab. Okay, so it's the demo time. Okay, the first, I'm going to create an Excel file. Wait a minute, please. Okay, this is my Excel file. And the first is store. I'm going to create a column named city, and I'm going to create a cell. Okay. First, the store is number 1. Okay. I don't know if needed this. Okay. Here's and 2 and 3. Okay. And the city is CDMX. Okay. It's the principal city in Mexico City. Okay. And the next is Pachuca is another city. Okay. And the next is Toluca. Okay. And the cell is easy. I'm going to point the cell is an okay. And the field, and here is the okay 400. Yeah. And I'm going to create date. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to okay. There you go. We have this. Okay. So in this case, I needed only move to the get data in the common data sources, click in Excel. Now I only need it. Okay. Click here and upload the Excel file. Okay. Okay. This is our first window named Navigator. In the Navigator, you can see, okay, the first, the name of the ship, okay, and next the name is the ship 1. In this case, in Spanish is Hoja Uno, okay, but in this case I can select, and if you see, I have this information, star, city, cell, date, etc. Okay, and we have 2 options: load and transfer data. Okay, load only as say load the data without transformation. Okay, and if we needed change anything, okay, we can move it in, or we can click here in transfer data. Okay, in this in the first demo, we only needed load the data. Okay. Okay, it's very important. In this case, the message say creating a connection in the model, loading data to model. Okay, it's very important. Okay, and now it's moving the data, is importing. Okay, and now is load, and say 3 rows has load. Okay, in this case, if you see, we have the city, cell, store, and it. Okay, very important. We have for the canvas, the data. Okay, and then this part is for the data. Okay, and here is for the relationship. Okay, in the data, you can see the table, the information. Okay, wait a minute. And in the relationship, you can see the table, and if we have 2 or more tables, we can create a relationship between us. Okay. Okay. Click again, and we have the data. Right. Very good. And in this case, if you see, you have all the information, and you can, in this moment, create the visualization. Okay. And in this case, we can put here the city. Okay, it's the number. Okay. Okay, if you see, automatically trying to show in the map, because in the data source, because in the data source we put it a name for the city. Okay. Okay. So we needed only the size. Okay. In the size is the cell. Okay. Dropping here the cell, and if you see, change the size. Okay. And now, example, and if and we can create for the February. Okay, and similar. Okay, save, and only needed refresh. And if you see, the city Pachuca, change the size. Toluca is a little bit. Okay, and Mexico City is here. Oh, where's Mexico City? It's missing. Okay, no problem. Right? Okay. It's easy. It's really easy. In this case, our ETL is easy because it only create an Excel file with 6 records, and we upload the data to the Power BI desktop. Okay, but the next demo, we're going to change, or we're going to get an info from a web, okay? Maybe UEFA Champions League. I like the soccer. I like the soccer, right? So in the Wikipedia, we can get a great information about it, okay? In this case, if you see, you can see the prices, the sponsorship, the performance by club, okay, performance by nation, all-time top scores, etc. Right? So what is the most common the most common usage when you can get, or when you needed get the info? Okay, the most easy is example when we ranking. Wait me. Okay, here, performance backlog. Okay, example here. If we needed have this information, the most easy is select and copy, right? Here, copy paste, right? But what is the problem about it? Okay, if the web page changed the info, we don't have the last version all the time. Okay, but with Power Query, we can have this link in the information between Power Query and the Wikipedia page. Okay, how we can get this information from Power Query? It's easy. We only copy the URL, okay, and if you remember in Get Data, in the icon, click in the icon, and now I'm going to move to the web. Okay, wait a minute, please. It's slow, please. Okay, in Get Data, now I'm going to Other, and click here in Web, and I'm going to click on the Connect button. And now, ask me about the URL, okay? Paste the link. and we have a different options from the Excel file example, right? And we have in this case the option in the anonymous, okay, or for Windows or Basic or Web API, right, or organizational account. In this case, we needed connect in the anonymous guest, okay? So we only needed click in connect. Okay, now Power Query will create a connection between Power Query and Wikipedia and get the info to can show in the browser, in our browser, in the navigator window. Okay. Okay, it's showing now. Okay, and if you can see, we have 22 HTML tables. Okay, that is the conversion that have from directly the page. Okay, and in this case, we can see the preview, the previously in the information. Example, the UEFA Champions League, we have the founder, regions, number, etc. Okay, and this is for the access list, performance in the European Cup. Okay, all right, that is the info that we needed, that you remember. Okay, performance by club. Okay, and performance in finals. Okay, all-time top scores, etc. Okay, in this case, we pick this performance in the European Cup and UEFA Champions. Okay, now only needed click and select. Okay, and I'm going to load. Now, if you remember, we will create a connection between the data model in the Power Query to Power BI, and obviously with the Wikipedia page. Okay. What is the reason to create this? The reason is very simple. Okay. We needed to create a channel, or we needed to create a link in the Power Query, Power BI, and the Wikipedia, because when we needed refresh the data, they needed to have all the channel, or have a only single channel to can create the information easily. Okay, right. In this case, if you can see, you have club, runner-ups, seasons, won, titles, etc. Right. So we move it to the data, and we move it to the model. Okay. Return to data. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. In a refresh. Okay. Yeah. Refreshing the data. Okay. Right. Very good. Okay. And if you can see, we have in this case club, titles, and runner-ups, etc. Right? So we can click here, club. And now we here the titles. Okay, under apps. Okay, and in this case, we can move it to the modeling tab. No, sorry, here in performance directly. Okay, and we can move it to the edit. And for example, if we needed don't have these columns, those columns, season ones and season run up, okay, we can drop off the columns, and we needed only remove this column, okay, and in this case remove this column, okay. And if you see, you have all the information, and it's very important this, okay. In this panel we have an applied steps. What's mean applied steps? Applied steps means all the steps that the Power Query are changed or applied previously. Okay. What's the reason? The reason is because, example, in the change type, okay, here in the runner up, okay, and the removed column, if you remember, when move it to the change type, I have these columns, okay. What's happened if was a mistake, an error from me that dropped the columns, okay, and say, hey, Jesus, you don't you don't drop the columns, okay, you don't need it erased. Oh, sorry, okay. In the SQL Server or another databases or another reports, you need to recreate the information, right? But in this case, is easy. It's easy recover this information. Okay. What we needed, only click here in removed column. Okay, in the step name removed column. Okay, and if you see, you have the information again, right? It's easy. Okay, so you can have all the seasons, ones, etc. Right? And you can have all the information again, right? And if you have all the info that you needed, okay, only you click here in close and apply, okay, and in close and apply, change to the Power Query editor and return to the Power BI, okay, canvas, okay, right. And for the last demo, I'm going to get info directly from a SQL Server database. Okay, wait a minute, please. I'm going to create a new report, okay, to get a new data. Okay, I'm going to connect to my server, Dr. Rudo SQL. Okay, it's connecting. Okay, we need the permissions. Okay, easily. Okay, we only needed add this client. Okay, this is updated server firewall rules. Okay, so need only connect. Okay. Let it go. Okay. So in this case, I have a database named cells. Okay. And I have three tables. Okay. 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 Three tables that I have an items stores. Okay. And cell store, cell by store. Okay. Now, experience submit. Stop here. Wait, please. Okay. The sum is crazy, right? So, returning. We have an items, sales, and sales by store. Okay, right? So we have this. Okay, the table items. Okay, we have 20 rows. Okay, it's a catalog. Stores. Stores have 30. Yeah, we have a 30 rows. Okay, and in this case, the sales by store. Okay, we have a lot of rows. We have 600,000 rows, right? It's a great number, a really great number, right? So in this case, so we needed this information, okay? Move this, and we needed the new report, okay? And this is our new report. The same, we needed here in common data sources because it's SQL Server, okay? And now I'm going to move it and type the information that needed. Okay, the first is the name of the server. Okay, we need to have the name of the server. The database is optional, but if you have, the best option is type here. And we have two options in this mode. Okay, we can import the data, or for the SQL Server, you can access directly for the information in the direct query. Okay, depending that you need it, you can use import or direct query. Okay, for me, if you will be use millions of records, okay, of rows, the best option is direct query, okay, in a millions, okay. But depending if you need it, change the info fastly, okay, the best option is import, okay. What is the difference? Import, import the data into the data model, okay, and in this case, you have all the data in your model. In the direct query, you don't have the data. You only have the structure for the tables, but you don't have the information for the tables. Okay, so we needed the server, the main server. Okay, edit connection. Okay, and now, okay, sales is the name, and now advanced options. It's okay. Okay, in this case, because I have the credentials stored, okay, we don't ask for my credential, okay. That's the reason that no tell me about the user and password. But if you are using in the first time, you will asking all the time for your credentials. Okay, right. So I have the three tables that we showed before. Okay, store by cell. Okay, or sell by store. Sorry, stores and items. Okay, and now only needed load. Okay, and I'm going to import all the data in the Power with the Power Query into the Power BI. Okay, and if you see, okay, the velocity, to transfer the information is quickly, really fast, right? Is preparing the data. Okay, in this case is loading data to the model. Okay, and in a seconds, okay, starting the info, and if you see, okay, wow, running now, running now. Now it's very important is detecting relationships. And very good. Okay, we have the information for the ventas, in this case sales. Okay, okay, stores, and now items. Okay, example, if you we don't need it, have this information in Spanish example, where you can rename name items. Okay, and change tiendas for stores. And the last, okay, there you go. And in this case, we have the cells. Right? And in this case, I can see the distribution of the cells by item. Okay. Oh, what's happened? It's the same for all the items, right? The problem? Yeah, it's a problem. What is the reason? If you remember, we have a relationship to can create the relation between the tables. Okay. Let me move to here. Okay. In the sales by store, we only have a primary key. We don't have a foreign key. Okay. So we don't have a real relationship here. Okay. So we needed drop this relationship. Okay. And create our relationship. Okay. Item here, store here, and move it sell by store. Okay. And another mistake, okay, another here is the names. Items is ID, stores is ID, but in sales by store, ID is artículo, okay, is item, okay, and in store ID it's a tienda, store, okay. So I move it to here in artículo, okay. And I'm going to click here, select ID, and select here in store, tienda. Okay, and if you if we return, as you see, change the graph, right? Change the graph because we have now a real relationship between the tables. Okay, so I can drop the visualization, right? I put the cell, okay, and in the start, oh, good, look good, right? You can see, oh, no, it's better option, this visualization. Let's take it. Okay, and if you can see, we can create different elements in visualization, whatever, but the most important is the fears. Where is my data? How I can get the information, and then how I can change the information, applying a cleaning and another that you needed, okay, data types, etc. Okay, so don't matter, don't matter if it's an Excel file, is a web page or a database. Okay, all the time we needed change the information because the business rule changed for any report. Okay, as you see in this three example, okay, we have information from several data, okay, several data sources, but all the time we need to change a little bit or more depending, okay, but all the time we can have uh, this compatibility, okay, or we can create all these compatibilities to can show the information great, okay, right. So to close the our presentation, okay, only this is the summary, okay. As we have seen in Power Query, it's a very easy tool to use, but also very powerful at the same time. You can shape and combine data easily using Power Query Editor, or if you are most dedicated to developing, you can use the advanced editor. Without a doubt, Power Query has never ceased to amaze since 6 July 2030. I invite you to explore its features and share their experience to help grow the Power BI community around the world. For me, it's all, and thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening to this session. And remember, my name is Jesus Gil, Microsoft MVP, and I say total thank you. En Spanish, gracias totales. See you the next time. I don't know if we have any question about it. No questions. Okay, thank you so much for your time and joining to this session. Thank you.